What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to be going over Kaspa's price because it needs to make a decision very soon or things might get a little bit ugly. And so I want you to be very aware of what's going on. So let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into it. Now, guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade some Kaspa yourself on up to 25x leverage without needing to use a VPN, without even needing the KYC, meaning you don't give them your personal information, you just sign up and you start trading, you can use that Margex link down in the description below. And the coolest part is, guys, you're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards when you do sign up. This is the platform I do all of my trading on, so I got a great affiliate link from them, so feel free to check that out if you would like, again, down in the description below. Now, looking at Kaspa, what is going on here and what is happening? Well, what we can see, of course, is that Kaspa's price has now returned back to what we call here on the channel the bounce zone. I've told you all very consistently, especially over the last couple weeks, that as Kaspa's price was venturing now below this ascending structure, that we were going to have these macro points called bounce zones. And if we were capable of holding these bounce zones, we'd be in a pretty damn good spot, right? What you can see here is that we laid out these three bounce zones. This one at around 12.5 cents, this one between 10.8 and 10.1 cents, and then this one right here around 9.3 cents roughly. I said these are the three levels where Kaspa's price is the most likely to bounce off of and try to continue back in an upwards direction. And if we do reach these levels, this is where you need to be watching closely because, you know, if we bounce, great, but if you lose it, it usually gets a little bit ugly. And what we can see is now, let's zoom all the way down to the 4-hour charts, is that Kaspa's price tried to use this bounce zone not just once, but actually twice, and has now been rejected 2 times, forced back to the bounce zone again. So the question now becomes from Kaspa, and what you need to be watching extremely closely is what happens next, because the two options are actually really different. So option number one here is that there is still a bullish play in play here, okay? What that looks like, let me make this a green line. What that looks like is Kaspa's price actually using this bounce zone one more time and making its way back up to, let's call it 13.9 cents. What I would go ahead and say is that if Kaspa's price is actually capable of doing that, we might be setting up an inverse head and shoulders that's actually pretty damn strong. We would have left shoulder there, we have head right there, and if we can sustain this support level one more time, make that break back up towards 13.9, we would have this inverse head and shoulders laid out, which could have a beautiful breakout target to the upside. In that instance, what you would do is take the distance from your neckline all the way down to the bottom of the head and apply it to the top side of the neckline, and that gives you your breakout target, in this instance being roughly 16.2 cents, or possibly a move from Kaspa from here of another 25 to 30% to the upside. So there actually is a bullish play still in place here, and I think that it's very possible that that does happen. You know, you look at your 4-hour RSI, this thing is reset pretty damn good. We're setting the higher lows in comparison to the higher lows, nothing too spooky or too scary there. Our Bollinger Bands are still being forced towards the downside, they're contracted, nothing too crazy going on there. You look at something like your daily Bollinger Bands, we are actually sitting towards the bottom side of those things, which is pretty damn good, opens up opportunity to the upside. You look at your daily RSI, for example, this is also sitting still below the 50% threshold, opening up a door of opportunity to the upside, all of which says to me that this is a very possible outcome, and it is something that we could maybe even, you know, hope for to some degree. Now, as a result of this and knowing that this is a possibility, what I've actually gone ahead and done is I did do a little bit of buying on Kaspa now that this price is right around the bottom side of this buy zone. But because of what could also happen, I didn't do a lot of buying. Now, the other option here is that Kaspa's price is just quite simply not going to hold this key level of support. Kaspa's price is going to come back down towards this little zone in which it has right here. Let's go ahead and call it between 12.5 cents and roughly 12.1 cents. And it just loses it, right? It just comes back down and it loses it. In a situation in which this happens, I do expect that Kaspa is going to continue to try to reach its arms down towards 10.5 to 10 cents roughly to reach this next bounce zone. You guys know this is the next zone in which Kaspa's price will try to aim for as a result of liquidity basis. And so knowing that, of course, the other option here is that if this does not hold and continue back upwards, we're probably going to see Kaspa's price fall as low as another, 17 to 25% to the downside, again, which is the reason why I didn't do a ton of purchasing right here. And so knowing that there's such an important decision on the way, and knowing that Kaspa is going to have to decide if it's this or if it's this, I'm not doing a lot right now. I think just taking a gamble and taking a risk and trying to just guess what's going to happen here is a little bit, it's just not a good idea, because it's not just Kaspa's price, it's also the major crypto market in general. Bitcoin's price, Solana's price, ETH's price, all of them are just kind of sitting back waiting and watching for the catalyst, and also what's going to happen with the presidential election. People are sitting with bated breath to see how that plays out just next week, and a lot of these different cryptos are just kind of sitting still, I think, until that decision happens or until it's pretty damn close to happening. And so because of that, where I am right now is I'm not doing much with Kaspa, just doing a little bit of purchasing right here, just in hopes that this does play out. And if it doesn't, oh well, I'll continue to accumulate the lower that Kaspa goes, because I do believe that the lower it goes, the better the buying opportunity, because I do think eventually we will see Kaspa's price continue upwards. I do think eventually we will see a move of this nature. So I'd be happy to buy more if we go lower, but I'm just chilling, waiting, and watching right now. Now, guys, I will actually let you guys know, I don't talk about it a ton here on the channel, but I do have a second YouTube channel. It's called the Crypto Catch Up, and what I do on that channel is I talk about news, I do fundamental analysis, we talk about Bitcoin specifically and how the broad market is impacting everything else. So if you want even more information about the market that could impact something like Kaspa, make sure to go check that out down in the description below. I also have a Patreon attached to that new YouTube channel where I talk about my thoughts and what I feel about the news in the market, daily fundamental analysis, and daily technical analysis like you're watching right now. So feel free to go check that out if that's something that interests you. But overall for Kaspa, again, as I mentioned before, doing a little bit of purchasing. That's about it, though. Waiting to see which one of these ranges we break first, because it will be super implicative of where we go for quite a while. And so let me know your thoughts down below. Are you buying, selling, long, and shorting? What's your game plan there? Check out the Margex link if you do want to sell some or buy some Kaspa on 25x or up to 25x leverage. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.